Hi, this is Michael Becker. And in this Tinderbox lesson, I got inspired by one of the Tinderbox forum members, Data Architector, who had asked three questions in one of the posts. The first question was, how do we set the start time of a video embedded in a Tinderbox note? And that was a question I'd actually answered before, but I'll review it again today. And then there were two additional questions that Data Architector asked. The first one was, is there a way to open up an embedded video in a Tinderbox note in a new window? And the second question was then how do we actually then interact with hotkeys with that video? So I'm going to answer those last two questions, or all three questions actually, in this training. So let's go ahead and let me show you. So let's go and review the three questions that Data Architector had asked. How do we set the start time of a video played in a Tinderbox note? Is there an option to open the video in a new window? And which keys can be used to move that video through the video frame by frame? And so when I first saw that question, I'm like, you can't do the first one I've answered. The second two, the answer is no, you cannot open a video in a new window in Tinderbox. You can use that video in preview, but you can't open preview in a new window. And then the third one was, which keys can be used. And the issue is preview is not a browser in Tinderbox. So therefore, it doesn't have any of the smarts to be able to actually use hotkeys to interact with a video. And so when I first responded to Data Architecture's comment or question, I'm like, can't be done, these last two questions. But then I had a insight. I was inspired, and I had a key takeaway and or learning lesson. And the key takeaway here is that sometimes you need to reframe your thinking. In the sense that I was focused on how do we do what Data Architecture is looking for in Tinderbox. And the reality is, the actual answer is, let's not do it with Tinderbox, but let's do it with another capability outside of Tinderbox. And as soon as I changed my focal point from Tinderbox to as the answer to what is the question, how do we solve the question, and then look for the right tool to solve the question, the answer immediately revealed itself to me. And that's what we're going to go review right now. So let's do a review of the answer of the first question, embedding videos in a Tinderbox file and setting the start time. So how you do that is you can either embed a file locally using HTML tags, and you essentially just give the path to your local file. And then if the file's local, you can append to the end of the file path #t equals and then the number of seconds that you want the video to start and stop. And so that's how you go about doing that. And if it's an embedded iframe video, the way to go about doing that is you append the question mark equals start time end time syntax. So for example, in this example right there, so I'm saying start the video at 90 seconds and end the video at 200 seconds, and that's how you can do that. So if I hit preview here, you'll see that the video is started at 90 seconds and then is going to end later down the road at 200 seconds. So the next question then is, and again, the video would stop at that 200-second mode. So that's how to do that. Now, if you want to know where to get this iframe content, let me go ahead and show that to you. If I go pull that video up in a browser, and I hit share, and then I hit share more, that opens up the page.
I mean, anyway, I plop myself down right now.
Let's pause that, and if I hit share here, you can see I can grab the embedded code, and all I need to do is copy this code into Tinderbox. Let's go back here. You'll see I'm copying this code into Tinderbox, and then I could just go ahead and append at the end of this URL the question mark, and then add my appending code. That's how that would work. Now, let's go to David Architector's second question. And David Architector's second question is, how do we open up a video in a new window? And then the third one was, how do we step through the video frame by frame? And here is the answer to that. And the answer to opening up the video in a second window is actually fairly trivial. You open up a browser, and then here, if I select a video from my note, I can go up to the File menu in Tinderbox and click File, Export as Export Selected Note. And when I click File, Export Selected Note, that opens up the file window, and I can then go ahead and save the file. Now that I've done that, I can open the Finder, and here's the file that we've just saved, and I can go ahead and go view that file in a Tinderbox note. And you'll see here, I've got the local file. So likewise, now if I move this down, likewise, you'll be able to, let's do that a little bit more. You'll see here, oops, go ahead and close that. You'll see here, I can do that same thing and export out the individual note here. And so if I do that, I get the new file. I've got the iframe file. And you'll see here that, and that's going to go ahead and display our iframe. And then likewise, you can also see that we can do that with a container. And so I can go ahead and hit preview. And now I can actually get the container view as well. So if we click on videos and drag that up, you'll see that I can actually be previewing my notes in this browser, and I can go ahead and play the video from my local file, or I can play the video from the embedded source as well. Now this takes us to the third question. And remember, the third question was, how do we go ahead and manipulate frame by frame the video? Well, in Tinderbox Preview, you can't do it. And but what you can do is you can open up the video in your browser, and the YouTube video actually, the YouTube player in a browser actually, and as does Vimeo and other tools, but I'm going to demonstrate YouTube right now, actually has the hotkey capabilities embedded into the player. And if you look here, I found a wonderful video from MacMost Video, and in that video, MacMost Video explains all of the different hotkeys that you can use to step through a video. And if you use the period or the comma, you can actually go frame by frame. So if the video is now in focus and paused, if you look here, and I'll go ahead and close that. If you look here, if I hit the period key, I can go step frame by frame forward, or if I hit the comma key, I can go step frame by frame backward. Now, with that in mind, I might as well pull out all of the other hotkeys that MacMost Video shared with us. So if you hit the F key, you can put it into full screen, or you can come back by hitting the F key. If I hit the 0 key, that pushes me back to the start of video, and then each number will incrementally walk us through 10% of the video. So 10, 20, 30, just by hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to step through the video. We can also use the space bar to pause and start the video. K will do that as well. J and L will move the video through 10%, stepping through the video 10%, and or going backwards through the video 10%. So that's, and then you can speed up the video by using Shift period, and you can speed up the video or slow the video down. So you actually can, with using the Tinderbox and its companion tools, in this case the browser and the YouTube embedded player, you can actually answer David Architecture's questions. So I hope that helps you out, and that you find this really useful. And then just one little side note, I was thinking too, what the use case would be for this. This is a really nice idea where you could put the video up to the right, let it play, and then while you're sitting here, you could be sitting taking notes as to what you're watching, and time stamping and thinking about what you want to be doing. So I see just a tremendous amount of value in the use case of what David Architecture is promoting, and I really like it from a research perspective. So if you wouldn't mind, and if you got value out of this, please like me on the Tinderbox forum and this session. I would really appreciate it. If you can like this session on YouTube as well, and then if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And then finally, it does take a lot of effort to put these programs together. So if you wouldn't mind becoming a patron of mine, likewise, I would be very, very grateful with that. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.